Good morning, Union, and welcome to the first episode of Coffee Side Chats with CeJ. Today, our special guest is the one, the only, the number one mailman in the United States of America, Skylyn. She was a marathon runner, a bodybuilder, a powerlifter, soon-to-be strongman, and soon-to-be next General Postmaster of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, Skylyn Copus. Skylyn, can you please tell us how you got into fitness? Like what got you started? You were a runner at first.
Yeah.
A little.
I started running. Well, my dad used to have me work out whenever I was younger.
That's a good dad.
It must have been like 6th or 7th grade. We used to have to. My brother and I used to have to run a mile on the treadmill every day after school, and then do push-ups and 3 sets of push-ups and sit-ups before we went to bed.
Would you say that kids today are not as conditioned as they were back then, or is that because your dad?
No, I think they're lazy.
Is it their faults though?
I think it's. I think the parents need to have them do stuff. Because I mean, I wouldn't have done anything if my dad didn't make me do stuff.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I was in sports too, so.
You didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Next.
And then I was really overweight. So then whenever I started losing weight and enjoying exercise, then I started running on my own. And then I ran my first marathon when I was 17. And my parents actually had to sign a waiver saying that they allowed me to, since I wasn't an adult yet. I couldn't sign for myself. So, and they had to write a letter saying that I was healthy to be accepted to run for the Pittsburgh Marathon.
So minors can't do it.
Mm-mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. and then I did that.
How'd you do?
Good. My goal was to do it in 4 hours. Let me think. No, my goal was to do it under 5 hours without stopping, and I did. I think it was like 4 hours, 4.5 hours or something. And then, yeah, I think that's what it was. And then, I started lifting, and then I did a couple more marathons, and then I started bodybuilding because my dad was like,
Tell him what times your dad and you would train.
Oh, whenever my senior year was whenever I was training for the first marathon. And so my dad goes to the gym usually around like 3:30 or 4 in the morning. So then I would start getting up with him, and I'd go run like 10 miles on the treadmill and then go into high school. And then while he was lifting. So we were on a pretty good schedule. And then, and then I started lifting because I got bored with running. And he was like, why don't you start lifting? So I started doing that. And then I started bodybuilding. I ran another marathon, and then I started bodybuilding. So I did that, and then...
Why did you transition from marathon running to bodybuilding? That seems pretty, almost 180, if you look at body type.
I liked whenever I started lifting, I started liking how I felt better than just running. So... and then
how did you feel running? Can you compare? Like, do you remember?
I mean, whenever I was running, I mean, I didn't feel like I wasn't muscular at all. So like I was just like, and I'm not built like a marathon runner. So like
you were just conditioned.
I was just like, yeah, like I could run forever, obviously, and feel fine. But I was like, I don't really like. I would rather look like I have muscle and look strong. So
and be strong.
So
but you got to be strong later.
Yeah. So then, whenever whenever I started bodybuilding and lifting, I was like, oh, this is fun. But then, obviously, it's all diet, so... I mean, I guess I shouldn't say all diet, but you have to diet and watch your stuff. And
How many bodybuilding things did you do in like, your levels?
I did 2 competition preps.
Your karate belts.
I did 2 competition preps. The first one I did bikini because my coach didn't think that, he just recommended doing that.
So can you explain what bikini is compared?
I think,
or do you know?
It's different poses, but I also did OCB, which is all natural. So it's not as I don't know. I don't want to get anyone upset, but I guess it's not.
She's trying to say there's no drugs there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just one wink for yes and two for no.
Yeah, there's no drugs, but the other thing is too, I mean, people who do the other one, the NPC is the most popular one, but I did bikini, so I didn't come in as lean or as muscular.
So what are they looking for in bikini?
Glute and legs.
So that
and
back
core.
that back pose where they're
Yeah.
showing off their butt.
Yeah.
That's what they want to see.
Yeah, and then
Tell them the story. Tell them how even though you posed, they already know who won.
yeah. So fun fact
About bodybuilding
If you
and
if you ever go to a bodybuilding show, they do the prejudging, which is the stuff like when everyone is lined up and they're doing comparisons.
And no one's seeing that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
People are watching.
yeah, yeah. People are watching that, so they say like quarter turn to the left, quarter turn to the back, whatever. So whenever they're doing that, after that, they know who won. Like the judges like picked out who won, and then whenever you see like the music routines and stuff like that, they already know who won. So you could literally trip and fall, and it doesn't. They just do that for the audience, which is annoying because it drags out the show for another 3 hours.
So they don't really care about your Kai Green splits that you do,
No.
huh?
No.
Look, I know bodybuilders' names. And then you moved up from bikini. You leveled up from bikini to
And then I went into figure because I wanted to
most muscular.
I wanted I wanted to I wanted to be able to like show off my shoulders and my back and stuff too. So I did that, and that's like you get judged on symmetry. You have your shoulders, back.
So how
lat
even
spread.
you look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so it's different poses. And I came in way leaner, and actually, my competition prep for that, it was 25 weeks I prepped and dieted.
25 weeks.
And then I did, yeah. And then I did 3 back-to-back shows, because my first one, I placed for nationals, so then I did the national show, and then I wanted to end with a show in Pittsburgh. So
Back to back, like how long in between were they?
the first one was 2 weeks, and then 1 week.
So
it was,
that's not awful. I mean, it probably was.
it's hard because like whenever you do, so like after my first show I could have one cheat meal, and it had to be a burger. That's whenever I ate meat. But
Oh.
I had a burger, and I remember I'm trying to think. Yeah, I had like a burger and fries or something, and then I had to start like I
From
started
the Burgatory?
no. I'm trying to think where.
Pittsburgh Zone.
No. No.
Unit Fitness member, too. Did you know that?
Yeah, you did tell me.
Yeah, how about that? We see you. We'll get some burgers.
But then, yeah, my nationals one. It was in Baltimore, so my one of my best friends and I went. She was my coach couldn't go, so she was my coach. So then, she did my tan my butt cheeks.
And this one, you weren't a bikini, no?
No, I was figure. And then after that, the same thing. I got to have a cheat meal, and then I had to start another peak week for my show the following week. But at that point, I was over it, so I really didn't care. So I ate. Her and I went with one of our other friends. We went and got burgers and beers, and then I had
Bodybuilders.
I remember having crab cakes, and then I ate an ice cream cone. And then whenever I got back home to my home, I went into the bar that I work at and drank and ate a whole bunch of salty things. So I probably could have, my last show, I probably could have came in leaner, but I was over it. I really didn't like it anymore.
Because it took a mental toll.
Yeah, because I mean,
Would you say bodybuilding, not so much the lifting for it, but the nutrition part took the fun out of it, or what was the most difficult?
It's definitely, I mean, I enjoy training like a bodybuilder. Like I did like that, and I liked it because
Chasing the pump.
And I did like that because I'd go in with my dad. That
You
was
know what
whenever
Arnold said?
What?
Look up what Arnold said about the pumps. Continue.
Whenever I was bodybuilding, I would still go to the gym with my dad. So it was nice because it was
Your dad's the man.
fun. Yeah, it was fun.
He's jacked, by the way,
It was fun.
even though he's a Jeep driver. You know what they say about Jeep drivers? He's an exception, though. So continue about explaining the difference between training, bodybuilding.
So bodybuilding, I usually did, like, I didn't deadlift. And that was the other thing, too. I was so weak by the time, like, whenever
So you look good, but you weren't.
I was lean. I was super lean. And people would always be like, "Oh, how much can you lift? You look very strong." But like, I was so weak and so hungry that like I was eating by the end of my prep, I was probably eating about, it was definitely under 1,000 calories. I would get 5 carbs. I remember texting my coach and saying I got 5 carbs that day, and it was usually from peanut butter.
5 period carbs.
Yeah.
For the whole day, 24 hours.
Yeah. So all I was eating was fat and protein. So then I would so then I would go what did you ask me?
We're talking about training and eating for being a bodybuilder.
So I would go to the gym, obviously, but I was doing an hour of cardio in the morning and then lifting in the afternoon, and then I usually had to do an hour of cardio at night too.
While you were still working 2 jobs?
Yeah.
Two jobs or one?
I was just bartending then. Yeah. No, I was bartending and training people. So, and by the time, like I remember, because I was, like I said, I was bartending, so I would usually not get to bed until like midnight. So, and then I would wake up and then have to go do my fasted cardio and stuff like that. But by the end of the day, I remember getting home from work the one day and not even being able to go. I lived in the upstairs apartment and I couldn't even get up the steps. I just laid at the bottom of the steps because I had no energy left. So that's the, like, and I'm super competitive, so I enjoyed the competitive side and the lifting part, but it just got to the point where, like, I would go hang out with friends, but, like, no drinking, obviously. No, like, you hit a point that you're like, I don't even want to be around people because...
Did you have to bring your meals with you? Like,
Yeah.
Were you that person?
Yeah.
With the...
Yeah. I went to a wedding with, actually, the best friend that tanned my butt cheeks. I went to a wedding with her and had to take my lunch box, carry it into the wedding reception. Couldn't have any cookies.
No cookie table.
No, I actually did eat some, but I wasn't allowed to. So you had to do all that stuff. So it got to the point where it wasn't fun. It was like a job, which and like I said, I mean, at one point I did enjoy doing that, but now it's just different now.
So you don't regret your bodybuilding experience?
No, and I liked it. Like I liked it and I learned a lot from it. And I definitely, if anything, I definitely got out of, I'm more into watching nutrition stuff now. Like
Yeah.
like a lot of things that I changed, because before I was super unhealthy before. Like I would, I thought, like I was one of those people that thought like the protein bars and all that stuff that people say, like, oh, 7 grams of protein in this bar, and then there's like 17 servings in the bar. Like I was one of those people that thought those were healthy, so like I would eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I'm trying to think what else I would do, but like it was like stuff that once I started bodybuilding and paying attention to things, then I was like, oh, this is a new lifestyle thing. Like now I'm like pretty balanced with like getting a lot of fruits and veggies. And the other thing, whenever I was bodybuilding and eating meat, when I was keto and couldn't have any carbs for it must have been like the last 6 weeks.
Can you give a brief explanation of keto?
Super low carb, so your body has to be in ketosis, and everyone's different, so I'm not giving you a number, but I think the highest amount of carbs I had was like 15, but usually it was like 7 or 10, which is super low. So if you're keto, you don't, like, a grown man can have way more than that. And
so keto, like, would just be lean meats and fats and maybe vegetables, but probably not fruits. Is that what
correct.
we're saying?
Yeah. But people also take keto, like I was doing, like people do. I see people all the time that are like, oh, well, I'm keto, and then they're eating like a dozen deep fried chicken wings cheese, like blocks of cheese,
hunks of bacon.
Yeah, bacon, cream. Like I know a kid that always asks me for nutrition help and workout help. Talks about how he wants to be keto, but he throws like 15 pounds of cream into his coffee and doesn't know why he's not losing weight.
Do more education before you start jumping into random diets, such as.
Yes. But I was eating like hot dogs, eggs, 2 bags of pork rinds a day, and like that's not healthy. So now I like what I'm doing now better because I'm like more. I'm stronger, and I can eat like
Less restrictions.
less restrictions.
You're able to
And you
know.
feel better.
Yeah.
Like I can my normal day of eating is pretty good, and I mean I usually feel like I have energy. I feel good. I haven't.
And you make most of your meals too, is the thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you enjoy cooking, though.
Yeah, and I enjoy cooking, so I cook a lot.
So the biggest thing you took away from bodybuilding was not so much the weights, but nutrition side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Time to tell us about the powerlifting side in the new era, which is begin. Powerlifting.
Well, I did my first powerlifting meet.
Note, I don't dislike bodybuilders. I like bodybuilders. I like powerlifters. Go.
I did my first powerlifting meet. It must have been
16?
2017. So 3 years ago in the winter. And I went, no coach, just went with my dad. And
Technique was great, I saw.
and bombed out on squats because I didn't know what to expect. I just went in and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I think I'll be fine. Bombed out on squats. My bench was good and my deadlift was, I pulled a lot, but my technique was awful.
She looked like a dog pooping. You know what I mean. Just think about it. Dog pooping. She pulled sumo, and it was definitely a dog pooping. But she's strong, and her erectors are jacked because of the way she pulled. So just because she had bad technique doesn't mean she's not strong. Her muscles developed and overcompensated for her positioning. So when we taught her how to pull more traditional sumo and not dog poop sumo, it felt a lot harder because she wasn't used to it. So it was going to take some time. It's still taking time, but it's safer and it's going to put you in a better position in the long run. Because she would just grip it, rip it, her knees wouldn't extend. She would basically pull conventional in a sumo stance, all low back, and just clicking up like a roller coaster. But continue.
So then after that, and I drove the whole way to, I think it was Scranton to do that.
How
And
far away is that?
I think it took 3 hours.
So 3 hours in a car, ate some Twinkies, and then went to go squat.
Yeah.
Good prep.
I went the night before, so I slept there. But I mean, I went there and wasted money on a hotel so that I could not hit depth on any of my squats. So
you learned.
then after that, the next one,
You good?
there were some people at that meet that own a gym pretty close to where I live. So, and they had said about them having a meet coming up. So I was like, like their gym was hosting it. So I was like, I'll do that then. And I worked and I got my squats better, and that was pretty much it. Like that was like all I was working on. And again, I didn't have, like, I had someone sending me a training split, but I didn't have, like, I'd never sent.
There was no hands-on coaching.
There was no hands-on coaching. No.
They weren't looking at your videos. They was just like, hey, do this programming.
Yeah. So I was just kind of training myself, and then that meet, I won because I pulled a really heavy deadlift, but it was awful. I watched, like, someone took a video of it, and I looked like one of these dogs pooping. So.
One of this dog. Look, Tubbs and Chew.
So, but then I did like a veteran one to raise money for that at my gym. And then I think there was only one other one that was like sanctioned that I did. And I did well at it, but my form was just off. So now I'm working on form.
And you're much stronger than you were before.
And I am much stronger, yeah.
So what would you say you learned about powerlifting? Like, what's powerlifting taught you so far? I mean, you're pretty early in it still.
I mean, I enjoy training a lot better now because I feel like I have more, like, it's better to have guidance and eating to perform.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. I'm working on.
Is that all? What are you most excited about once things start to open up again?
To be able to go back into our training.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you want to train at?
Oh, Union.
Say with a little more oomph, huh?
Oh, Union.
Duh. Union. All right, team. Thanks for the coffee side chat with CeJ and special guest, the one and only Grand Most Postmaster of the United States of America. Once the orange Cheeto is overthrown, I'm sending her to the top. And there's Tubbs. And there's June. And we're out.